The imperial hall of Vale was a cathedral of obsidian and violet fire, towering so high that a human could barely breathe just looking at it. And in the center of that hall stood Marcus Hailformer, Earth Ranger, war veteran, mechanic, and the most misplaced man in the entire galaxy. He stood alone before the throne, hands behind his back, expression calm but unreadable dot above him. On a throne of crystalline thorns sat Empress Serenthal, ruler of the Vale Theory Dominion, feared conqueror of 11 star systems, and currently the most furious being Marcus had ever met. Her silver eyes were burning, her wings were flared, her voice cracked through the chamber like thunder. "Human," she hissed, "look at me again, and you're dead." The guards around the hall tensed, halberds humming with plasma. Marcus did not flinch. He never did. The Empress noticed, and that only made her angrier. 2 hours earlier, Marcus had been hauled into the throne room in chains after what the Vale 3 called a serious cultural offense. What had he done? He had looked the Empress in the eyes. Apparently, Vale Theory believed that direct eye contact with royalty meant one of two things: challenge or courtship. And Marcus had no idea. He had simply been checking if she was talking to him. So, when the Empress barked, "Are you the human they brought?" he glanced up. A millisecond. That was all. Her wings snapped open like blades. The hall shook. "You dare meet my gaze," she roared. The guards moved immediately, but Marcus didn't cower, didn't apologize, didn't even blink. And that, ironically, was the beginning of everything. Back in the present moment, Marcus stood in the middle of the hall. The height difference between him and the Empress was comical. She towered over him even while sitting. A 7-foot giant of muscle, silver scales, and ethereal fury. "Are you deaf?" she growled. "I gave you an imperial command." Marcus lifted his eyes slowly and met hers again. Gasps shot through the hall. The guards surged forward, only to stop when Serenth lifted one clawed hand. "You have bravery," she said, her voice low, "or stupidity. Tell me which." Marcus took a breath. "It's not bravery," he said calmly. "It's habit. I'm a veteran. I've dealt with things that were meant to scare me. But fear doesn't decide how I look at someone. Respect does." The Empress narrowed her eyes. "And you respect me?" "I've only known you 5 minutes," Marcus replied. "Respect is earned." A rumble echoed through the hall, half shock, half outrage. But Serenth smiled, not wide, not warm, a dangerous smile. "You're either suicidal," she said softly, "or you're unlike any human I've ever heard of." Marcus shrugged. "I've been told I'm difficult. You are insolent. Probably, you are disrespectful." "I already explained that part." "You are." She stopped, exhaled sharply, and stared at him with an expression Marcus couldn't quite describe. Confusion, curiosity, something else. She stood up, her wings spread. Every step she took toward Marcus felt like a meteor crashing. The hall trembled, and then she leaned down, inches from his face. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Why do you keep looking at me, human?" Marcus didn't look away. "Because you told me not to," he replied. "And where I come from, if a powerful leader can't handle eye contact, they're not really powerful." The hall froze. Silence. Then a sound burst from the Empress, a sharp, short, surprised laugh. The guards nearly fainted. The Empress of Vale did not laugh. "Ever, you challenge me," she said. No, I'm honest with you. She stared deep into his eyes, and for the first time, Marcus saw something beneath the anger, a flicker of exhaustion, burden, loneliness. Leaders everywhere seemed to share that maybe she wasn't so different, human, she said after a moment. Follow me. The guards shouted protests, but she silenced them with a glare that could vaporize a star. Then she led Marcus out of the public hall and into a private garden deep inside the palace. Strange glowing plants grew everywhere, illuminating her silver scales and the faint tremble in her wings. She gestured for him to sit on a stone bench carved with ancient Veil-Theory runes. Do you know why I reacted so violently earlier? She asked. Different cultures, Marcus said. Different meanings. No, she said quietly. It is more than that. She turned away, and for the first time, Marcus saw vulnerability on her face. When someone looks into the eyes of a Veil-Theory Empress, she said softly, they see everything. Our strength, our weakness, our soul. Her voice trembled. And I have spent my entire life making sure no one ever sees mine. Marcus leaned forward. I didn't see weakness, he said. Just someone trying to prove she doesn't have any. She froze. Slowly, she turned her head. Saw that? Marcus nodded. And you did not use it to dominate me. She whispered. Why would I? He asked. Leaders get tired too. No shame in that. The Empress sat beside him. The stone bench groaned under her weight. I have crushed rebellions, she murmured. I have conquered worlds. I have fought in the void without armor. But no one in my empire has ever once spoken to me like an equal. Marcus shrugged. I'm not in your empire. I'm just a guy who fixes machines and hates people yelling at him. Another soft laugh escaped her. So that is why you keep looking at me, she said. Not disrespect, not challenge, but familiarity. Something like that. She stood and walked toward a glowing tree. She touched it lightly, her silver claws reflecting the violet light. You are dangerous, Marcus Hale, she said quietly. How so? You make the Empress feel seen. Marcus didn't reply. He didn't have to, because she turned to face him again. And this time, she looked him in the eyes without anger, without threat, without the weight of the empire on her shoulders. Earlier, she said, I told you that if you looked at me again, you would die. Marcus tilted his head. And now, she said slowly, I find myself wondering, why does a mere human meet my gaze without fear? He answered simply, because I've seen worse than death. Serinth stepped closer, close enough that Marcus could feel the heat radiating from her scales. And what could be worse than me? She whispered. Marcus met her gaze with steady human conviction. Losing people I care about, he said. Failing the ones I swore to protect. Watching good people break under pressure. She inhaled sharply, and for the first time, the Empress understood something humans weren't fearless. They just fought through fear anyway. You carry heavy burdens, she said. So do you, he replied. She considered this, then slowly, carefully, as if performing a sacred act, she lowered herself into a kneeling position before him. Every Veil-Theory tradition shattered in that moment. Empress. Marcus said, startled. Look at me, she commanded softly, not with threat, but with invitation. He did, and she said the words that echoed through the galaxy in the years to come. I do not kneel for humans, but I kneel for truth. Marcus swallowed. He didn't understand half the customs of her people, but even he felt the gravity of it. She stood again, towering over him, but now with respect. "Marcus Hale," she said, "from this moment, you are under my personal protection. Anyone who harms you answers to me." He raised an eyebrow. "Just for looking at you?" "No," she said with a small smile. "For seeing me later." The Veilthuri Senate demanded to know why the Empress had forgiven the human. Her answer was simple. He looked into my eyes. And for the first time, I did not feel alone. And that was how a single human veteran, with nothing but honesty and courage, changed the fate of an empire. HFY. Asterisk.